Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Monday, October the 27th, 2014. A young woman who was seriously wounded during last week's terror attack at the Jerusalem light rail station died last night as a result of her injuries. As you may have seen on IBA News, 22-year-old Ecuadorian-born Karen Yamima Mosquera was among those waiting for the train Wednesday when a Palestinian terrorist rammed his car into the waiting crowd. Mosquera was reportedly a student living in Israel for the past year who was also in the process of converting to Judaism. The Times of Israel reports that she had come to Israel to convert to Judaism after discovering that she was descended from conversos, Spanish Jews who were forcibly converted to Catholicism after 1492 during the Spanish Inquisition. Mosquera was laid to rest just after midnight last night on the Mount of Olives. She is the second fatality in the terror attack. 3-month-old baby Chaya Zisselbraun died several hours after the incident from critical injuries that she sustained. Clashes between Israeli security forces and Palestinian rioters continued yesterday across East Jerusalem following the funeral of the terrorist responsible for the Jerusalem light rail attack, Abed ar-Rahman al-Shaludi. Tensions have been high in the city since the attack, which saw subsequent Palestinian rioting in the area. Palestinian Prime Minister Rami Hamdallah visited the Temple Mount in Jerusalem today amidst the tense situation. Palestinian news agency Ma'an reports that Hamdallah was accompanied by Palestinian intelligence chief Majid Faraj as well as several other high-ranking PA officials in a visit that was coordinated with Israeli officials. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu spoke before the Knesset today at the opening of the body's winter session. This was the first Knesset address in 3 months, and Netanyahu cited the last time was before Operation Protective Edge. During his remarks, the Prime Minister once again condemned Hamas for its attacks on Israel this summer and praised Israel's residents for their unity in the time of crisis. And the Jewish Agency has developed an aid package of over $13 million to help the communities of Israel's south, which was severely hit by the incessant rocket fire from Hamas in Gaza this summer. The aid package includes student scholarships, help for local businesses, grants for victims of rocket attacks, construction of bomb shelters, and support for new immigrants and IDF lone soldiers, thanks to contributions from the Jewish Federations of North America, Keren HaYesod UIA, and other donors. As we reported to you last week, hundreds of Jewish leaders are in Israel as part of the Jewish Agency's Board of Governors meetings. And agency chair Natan Sharansky addressed the aid to Israel's south at the opening meeting yesterday, calling it a continuation of the Jewish world's massive outpouring of solidarity with the people of Israel. Sharansky said the Jewish Agency built southern Israel, helping the early pioneers establish these towns and communities in the country's early years. Today, we are partnering with the government of Israel to ensure that this pioneering spirit endures well into the future. The Anti-Defamation League released a new report Friday looking at anti-Israel activity on college campuses after Israel's Operation Protective Edge this summer. The report shows that so far in this academic year, there have been 75 anti-Israel events scheduled to take place on U.S. campuses. During the same time period last year, there were only 35 such events scheduled, marking a 114% increase. The ADL report cites that the student groups who make up the anti-Israel movement today seek to isolate, demonize, and delegitimize Israel by making hateful accusations and falsely claiming that Israel is guilty of apartheid and genocide. They said these claims are rarely, if ever, balanced with an acknowledgement of Palestinian terrorism against Israeli civilians, Israel's continual efforts to make peace with the Palestinians, and make no mention of the Palestinians' failings on security issues and their intransigence during negotiations throughout the years. U.S. President Barack Obama announced the designation of a presidential delegation to Warsaw, Poland, to attend the opening ceremony of Polin, the Museum of the History of Polish Jews, which takes place tomorrow. Representative Carolyn Maloney of New York will lead the delegation, which will also include U.S. Ambassador to Poland Stephen Mull and Ira Foreman, the State Department Special Envoy to monitor and combat anti-Semitism. We'll have more on the opening, which will also be attended by Israeli President Reuven Rivlin tomorrow. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Monday, October the 27th, at 8 o'clock, Israeli Knesset member and entrepreneur Errol Margalit delivers a hopeful talk on his work in creating regional centers of excellence and innovation that will bring economic growth to all sectors of Israeli society in a program from the American Jewish Committee Westchester from the JCC of Harrison. And then at 9 o'clock tonight on L'chaim, Mark S. Golub sits down with Zach Iskall, a combat-decorated Marine officer and Iraq veteran, to talk about his experience as a Marine, his time in Iraq as Special Operations Command, and his perspective on the state of U.S. foreign affairs today. And that's the JBS News Update for Monday, October the 27th, 2014. I'm Teisha Bader.